Hi there, my name's Daniel, and in this tutorial I will demonstrate how easy it is to develop with Zend Framework 2 in Zend Studio. Zend Studio incorporates built-in tools that allow developers to use Zend Framework 2 more efficiently. You can create new Zend Framework-based projects with just a few steps and minimal development time. You can create Zend Framework 2 modules, view helpers and controllers, get content assist for services, and take advantage of other Zend Framework 2 features to make your coding more productive. In this tutorial, we're going to create a sample website with a downloads page. The application will be constructed of two Zend Framework 2 modules, and we'll use a sample service and a view helper. To follow the steps shown here, you'll need Zend Studio 10 and a Zend Developer Cloud account. I encourage you to visit the tutorial page in the Zend Studio online help to access the project and the code used in this video. So let's get started. Our first step is to create a new local PHP project in our workspace with Zend Framework 2 content that includes a Zend Framework 2 skeleton application. We will then deploy the application on the Zend Developer Cloud. So I'm going to the menu bar and selecting File, New, Local PHP Project. In the dialog that appeared, I'm first going to name the new project and then leave the default location settings. As the project content, I'm going to select Zend Framework and Zend Framework 2 from the version drop-down menu. You can also select previous Zend Framework versions. In the next dialog, I'm going to define the launch settings. Now it's important to point out that in this tutorial we'll be creating a project with Zend application deployments to quickly launch the application. But this is in no way required to get your Zend Framework 2 project up and running. If you don't want to deploy the project, just click Finish in the previous dialog. Now I'm deploying the application on the Zend Developer Cloud, so I'm clicking the PHP Cloud icon, and now I'm going to enter my Zend Developer Cloud credentials. Next I'm going to enter my SSH private key and validate the connection to the target. Since all seems to be working okay, I'm going to click Finish. Back in the Launch Settings dialog, the new target appears in the targets list, so I'm just going to click Finish to create my project. The new project is created and displayed in the PHP Explorer, represented by a Zend Framework icon. The generated project includes a Zend Framework 2 skeleton application with pre-configured dependencies, so there is no need to take any additional actions, like running Composer for example, before actually running the project in a browser. We're now going to deploy the application. The deployment XML file was automatically opened and displayed after the project was created, so we're going to click Launch a PHP application in the testing area on the right. In the dialog that appears, we can see the target we defined earlier, so all that's left is to click Finish. The Zend Framework 2 skeleton application is deployed and launched in Zend Studio's internal browser. After being deployed for the first time, Zend Studio is configured by default to upload any changes made to the project to the cloud. So after saving your changes, all you have to do to view them is refresh your browser. We'll be seeing how this works soon. Now that we've seen our application deployed and published in the cloud, we decide we want to add a Zend Framework 2 module to handle file downloads to our site. So I'm going to right-click the project in the PHP Explorer and select New Zend Framework item. From the list of items, I'm going to select Zend Module. In this new dialog that appeared, I'm going to name the module and the controller Downloads and click Finish. We can see the new Downloads module in the PHP Explorer in the project's modules folder. Conveniently, if we go to the project's configuration file, we'll see that the newly created module is automatically registered. We're now going to configure the new module's configuration file by specifying a URL for the module to be called by. I'm going to replace this example text with the new route and save the file. Next, we're going to configure the link and the button leading to the new module. To do this, I'm going to access the application's entry point file and make the necessary changes. As I mentioned before, all saved changes are automatically uploaded to the cloud. Let's see how this looks in the browser. I'm going to click the refresh icon here at the top of the editor and then test the downloads module. Okay, great, but we still need to do some work here. Now let's add some variables to the module's controller. I'm going to add a files list array with 2 downloads, a file path variable and a file size variable. In the module's index.html file, we'll enter a nice heading to the page, and then we're going to enter for each statement for the variables defined above. As we begin typing, Zend Studio's Content Assist pops up and suggests the variables we defined earlier. We're getting there. The downloads module is displaying the newly defined controller variables. Okay, our next step is to refactor the code from the controller file to a new download service using Zend Studio's Content Assist and the Zend Framework 2 Service Manager. In the PHP Explorer, I'm right-clicking this downloads folder in the new downloads module and selecting New Class. I'm going to name the new PHP class Download Service and define the namespace as Downloads. The new PHP class is created and opened in the editor. I'm going to paste some code in it containing the service functions. In the module's controller file, I'm going to start adding a new variable to this public function. As I begin typing, Content Assist will display the get options. I'm going to select Get Service Locator and continue typing. Now, in the line below, as I continue to code, I notice that Content Assist is not displaying any of the methods defined in the Download Service class. This basically means that Zend Studio cannot figure out what PHP objects should be returned by the service locator. To solve this, I'm going to manually map the service name to the PHP class using the project properties. In the PHP Explorer, I'm going to right-click the project and select Properties. I'm then going to select Zend Framework Service Locator. Clicking Add, I'm now going to map out the service and the PHP class. Under the Types column, Content Assist suggests the PHP class, so I'm gladly going to select it and click OK. Back in the controller file, this time pressing Ctrl Space to bring up Content Assist works. Now that we've got that out of the way, I'm going to finish developing the controller by replacing the mock data with service calls. Content Assist will help me along the way to call the PHP methods. I now need to register the service in the module's configuration file. Again, Studio's Content Assist comes in handy. Going back to our browser, we can now see that the Downloads module displays values defined in the download series. Now, I don't really like the way the size of the files is displayed on this Downloads page. I'd like to view this information in a more readable manner. For this purpose, I'm going to create a new Zend Framework 2 view helper. In the PHP Explorer, right-clicking this Downloads folder and selecting New Zend Framework item. Select Zend View Helper. I'm going to name it Readable Bytes. The Zend Framework 2 template is already selected, so I'm just going to click Finish. The new view helper is created and displayed. If we go to the configuration file, you can see that Zend Studio again conveniently registered the new item. Going back to the newly created view helper file, we're now going to configure it to help display file size in a more human-friendly fashion. I'm just going to paste some code here. All that's left now is to use this view helper in the module's entry point file. Let's tamper with the file size a bit to help illustrate our point. Success. The final step in this tutorial is to use the MVC Outline view. This view provides an outline of all the Zend Framework project controllers, modules, classes, files, variables and related functions, and is a great way to overview the structure and dependencies of your Zend Framework project. Open the view by going to Window, Show View, MVC Outline View. That's it for now. For more information on working with Zend Framework 2 and Zend Studio, I recommend visiting either Zend.com, the Zend Framework 2 website, or the Zend Studio online help. Thanks for watching this video.